The Joe Rogan Experience.
You've obviously gone through some improvements and some change. Like, what's changed with you over the last like 4 or 5 fights? Because you keep getting steadily better, but particularly the last 2. I think you should be on a 4-fight win streak because there was.
Oh, stop!
Well, you had that one decision.
Yeah.
I forget how to pronounce her name.
Zhao Nian Yan.
Yeah, is that how you say
like
it?
A cat.
How do you say it?
Zhao, I don't know how to say it, but Zhao Nan Yan.
That's the lady you had in the triangle.
Yeah, she's on this card too.
Oh, okay.
The Auckland card.
Yeah, I thought that was a bad decision. But
Thank you.
you had her locked up in the. So I get sometimes when I do commentary, people get mad at me, like either the fighters or other people. But that was one where fans of her got mad at me because you guys were right in front and you had her in a triangle, and I was yelling, "Pull the head." I was yelling, pull her head, because you had it locked up. It was locked up. I'm like, she's got it. I'm like, pull the head. And people are like, you fucking dick, telling her to pull the head.
Well, I didn't hear, or if I heard you, I thought you were in my corner. I did hear someone say,
it was right, you were literally right there. It's like, I
that's
can't
so funny.
help.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
It's like you had it.
That's awesome.
You really had it. It was so locked in. But I felt like that was a shit decision. It wasn't the worst decision I've ever seen. We've seen some really bad ones lately, but it was not good. It wasn't. So that would have put you on a 4-fight win streak.
Right.
But the Hannah Cifers one, Hannah Cifers is tough, and she's like physically tough. She's like a strong girl.
Yeah.
You know, and when you got her down and smashed her with those elbows, I was like, something's going on. Like you're on another level. Do you feel it?
Yeah, I do. I don't know. It's I had a lot of like I don't know, I guess ups and downs in my career. Like it's literally like up down, like win loss. And I think after the Randa fight, I fought Randa Marcos about this time last year. And I was just so pissed at the way that went down because I was like super nervous going into it. I felt like that was going to be a fight that kind of set me above the heap because Randa's so tough and she kind of has that same like up down that I do. So I'm like, okay, this is going to set me apart. I'm going to get a streak going. This is going to be the fight that puts me in the rankings. And I put a lot of weight on it. And I had like ESPN follow me that week too. So I was just super nervous. And like the entire time during the fight, like I wasn't in the fight. Like I was overthinking every position. Like there was a point where I had Randa up against the cage, and the fight seems like it was 30 minutes long, even though it was like 2 minutes, you know. But like the moment that I had her up against the cage, I remember like just thinking, oh, if I hold her here, she can't do anything to me. And that's like the exact opposite of what you should be thinking in a fight. You should be thinking, I need to hurt her, you know?
Right.
Like, I need to hurt her. I need to do whatever it takes to look like I'm trying to finish the fight. So I hesitated. My corner was yelling elbow. I didn't throw the elbow. Randa threw the elbow. And then from there, I was just like 2 steps behind, I felt like. And so that fog was a really weird thing for me because I had never really thought about the mental side of fighting. Like, I thought I was doing everything right. Like, I would visualize and, you know, tell myself all positive things and, you know, do everything that you think you have to do before a fight. But that just kind of showed me like I'm not doing enough because I knew I had the skills to beat her, or at least the skills to make it look more competitive, but I didn't show it.
Do you think it was the added element of the cameras following you around that just put this additional pressure?
Yeah, like the pressure was already there, and then I found out about the ESPN thing, and I feel like it was just me because I've always had this, I guess, this fear of losing too much, you know, and it started when I got into the UFC. I had like my tough fight, didn't go well, but I was one fight, you know, in my MMA career, and I was in the UFC already. So I went on to win a fight, but then I lost 2 in a row and got cut. And from that moment on, I'm like, fuck, like people are just going to think of me as this person who loses all the time. And then I went on a 4-fight win streak in Invicta. But then when I came back to the UFC, I lost to Andrade. And even though it was like probably the fight that people still talk about to this day, even though I lost.
Fight.
Yeah. Like I always get complimented on that fight, but it was still another loss on my record. So like I've always had this kind of, I don't know, like this gray cloud looming over like my confidence because of my record.
Did it help that she went on to do such great things? That
It did.
Pumped you up?
It did. But when it came to fighting someone like Randa, who kind of had a similar story where she is talented, but she's fought a lot of tough people and lost to them or gotten like weird decisions against people. I don't know. I just felt like this was my chance to prove that I'm not that. Like
Right.
I'm a better fighter than my record shows. And so then when the ESPN thing was thrown on, and I just like it was just me bigging up a situation that wasn't that big.
Right.
You know, like it was no different from, you know, my fight with Ashley Yoder. I felt more present in my Andrade fight. Like it was no bigger than those fights, but I just bigged it up in my head. And I felt like it was a result of me just pushing down all this anxiety that I have every time I fight and not really addressing it.
So did you address it since then?
Yeah.
What have
I
you done
did.
differently?
I just we started reading like those me and my husband, but he read them and then he started doing like the mental coach thing for me. Every resource that I looked at says pretty much the same thing, is that you have to focus on being present and being present each day and not like dwelling on the past, not bringing the past into that present moment, just trusting in your reactions and trusting in your preparation. And so that's what I've been doing, is like I have been doing like more like actual visualization exercises, and just every time I'm in the gym, I just focus on being there at the gym. I'm not thinking about like what's going to happen if this happens, what's going to happen if that happens. I focus on the drill we're doing, on the exercises we're doing. I go as hard as possible. And I think just having that fight and having it go so badly forced me to go into the gym and just say fuck it, you know. And it's literally just like that fuck it mentality.
Like that was the worst that could happen, where
Yeah.
you didn't show up. You didn't
Yeah.
fight to the best of your abilities.
Exactly. When I hesitated, I didn't show
Right.
up. I didn't stay in the moment. I was thinking about what's going to happen next. What just happened, you know? What's going to happen if I lose? Like I'm thinking that in the fight. Like when I went to the gym the next, like literally like the next Monday, I went to the gym, I'm like, fuck it, you know? And I just went hard. And like the next sparring session, I said, fuck it. And I went hard. And like those were like the best sparring sessions I had up to that date. Like people were guys who like you usually wouldn't really say much after I spar them. They're like, yo, you're on something today. Like you're like just like combinations and volume and this and that. Like, yeah, you're really getting after it. And I'm like, okay, I think I've like kind of unlocked something. So
Well, you know what's really powerful? The way you're addressing it. That you're so honest about what went wrong. That's huge, because sometimes people make excuses, or they come up with some something that didn't go their way that should have gone their way, and they don't address the real issue. You're addressing the actual issue that was going on in your brain, and you know that that's what it was.
Yeah, thank you. But it's like something I kind of had to learn from the get-go, you know?
Have you ever thought about going to like a sports psychologist?
I have. I've tried a couple people in the past, and I really just feel like everyone kind of says the same things.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're getting it from any resource, that's good. Like I started using that mindfulness app.
Oh, okay. Which one?
I forget what it's called.
Headspace?
Headspace. I was
Okay.
gonna say it's the ones with little cartoons.
Yeah.
And that really helped just like kind of calm my nerves and keep the anxiety from being crippling.
Sometimes what happens when you go to a coach is the fact that you physically go to someone and you sit down with this it's like a different level of commitment. You sit down with this person formulates a strategy for how you address some of the issues that are going on in your mind, and then sometimes you can go to a hypnotist like Vinny Shorman. Do you know Vinny?
No,
Vinny Shorman, he's fantastic, and he's done a lot of he actually hypnotized me. I asked him to hypnotize me because I want to know what it was like. It's very weird. It's very weird. It's like you're there, but you're not really there. It's like you're in a room next to.
Like,
he didn't touch me. Nothing.
bark?
No. Nothing happened. Nothing weird.
Like a dog.
No, he. I just wanted to experience what it was like, and then, like sometimes I procrastinate too much. Sometimes I'm lazy. Sometimes I feel like I get more work done than I do. I'm like, I want to know what that is, and he is really good at working with fighters at addressing. He does a lot of stuff through like FaceTime and shit too. Like he lives in England, but he's worked with Joe Schilling. He's worked with a lot of different fighters, but he basically tries to get you to understand. First of all, you're already on a really good path because you understand what you did wrong, right? And then you understand to be more present. Those two things they're critical. That's everything. Understanding what went wrong, letting it go. You're already doing that, and then concentrating on what you're really good at, and just saying fuck it and letting it go, and expressing yourself, being the you that you know that you could be when you're on.
Yeah.
Right. It's like how to capture that and hold that thought, and then bring it inside the octagon and be able to recreate those feelings when you're actually under pressure of competition.
That sounds cool.
Yeah.
But like hypnotizing though, like does he like take out the watch? And,
No,
like,
he just talks to you. You close your eyes, you lay back, and he just sort of talks you through it. It's very weird.
So it's not like therapy. It's you definitely feel like a change in your brain.
Yeah, you feel like you're in a different state. It's a weird state. It's very weird. Like,
that's strange.
Like after it was over, I was like, okay, that's real.
Yeah.
Because I had seen like comedy hypnotism before. Have you ever seen a comedy hypnotism show?
Yeah, for sure.
Where they have a bunch of people come up and like, you're having sex with, Rihanna, and you think you are. And there's a lot of weird stuff that people do in these comedy hypnotism shows where I was like, maybe I can't. I don't think they could do that to me because I'm not going to believe that I'm really on a cruise ship right now and pirates are coming or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and he go hide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But some people
I always
do.
see the ones where they like make him like turn into an animal or something, or every time you say this word, something happens.
And I'm going to wake up in 3, 2, 1. Huh? What happened? Yeah, it wasn't like that.
Okay.
But it is like you're listening to his voice, but you're in a different state of consciousness. It's very strange.
Right.
But you're able to put away the outside world for a brief amount of time. And he concentrates on flow, like getting you to a state of flow. That flow state when everything's going great. You know that feeling when you see things and you're hitting someone with something before you even know that there's an opening there.
And that was in those athlete books too, just that flow state thing. Yeah.
Flow state is everything, right?